What's up, everybody? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. Sorry, 1 second. All right, sorry about that. It's a gardener, super loud. Um, couldn't even hear myself. Hopefully everybody had a good day today. I don't really want to be looking at futures right now. I feel like if we go to a pretty, like a lower time frame here, um, pretty much nailed. We were watching for calls right on a retest, and right out of the open, boom, and then this is our target, right? We were looking. I mean, I can zoom back out and show, but we were looking for shorts in this area. And if you took this retest, I mean, you were red for like um, fraction of a butt hair, not very long. So solid entry. Um, should have been closing, really quickly. Um, and excuse me. Looks like we could have played puts, like quite a few times from this range. They kept giving it to us off of the July POC. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if people miss this or even this. This one, if you miss the others, you should have been able to get. I don't think I called this out, but well, actually, no, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say you could have grabbed puts here on the retest, but really, like, this was the spot, right? This was our zone. We're looking for puts, but I guess if you missed that, that was a good retest. If you missed that one, this was a good retest. And so, yeah, they hit our levels. Pretty much all of our levels got hit. So pretty good day as far as that's concerned. The only thing that we didn't get is the 546.35, right? You're already blind and now you can't hear. Is it? Am I quiet? Oh, dude, like, what's wrong with my mic? Hello, hello. Did I turn myself down? Whoa. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. I might have to tweak that. I don't want it to be so loud that I'm like blowing up your ears. Shit. All right. That's hilarious, Lisa. You can hear the train sometimes. What's really crazy is I don't even live close to train tracks. Like, actually, let me see if I can find like a Google Maps. Where in the shit do I live? Okay. I mean, you guys can come and stalk me and shit off of this information. It's all good. Just know, both me and my son are packing all the time. Anyway, I'm not really. I'm just joking around when I say that stuff. I'm trying to find the. Where in the hell is? There we go. Actually, that makes it harder to see. So, I live here, and the train track is like way up here. But between my house and the train track, there's really not a lot to block the sound. So like it's crazy, like that you can hear it from that far away. When I was looking at this house, I knew the train tracks was there, and I didn't think I would be close enough to be able to hear it, But whatever. It is what it is. And also, just I apologize for starting kind of late today. I like at the last minute I was like, I need some coffee. I'm sure you guys can relate. Like when you're having like a stressful day, you tend to burn out energetically, and I'm definitely burnt out. It's been like a fairly rough day. Shoot, I'm actually not. I'm like losing my shit. I'm supposed to be live in Shorty's Discord, and I'm not. I just went ahead and did that. Sorry. All right. I think my mic is like crazy loud now. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Let me see if that's better. I'm not spiking as much, I think. All right. Leave it there. Hopefully that's good. You guys let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. Yeah, so I don't even really know how to explain this. Let me see if I can show you guys. So I have this. I think it's this one. God, that seems so much cheaper than what I paid. Actually, yeah, it's this one here. And right on the front, there's these two gain knobs. And I guess, yeah, this is not mine. This is mine. There's these two little gain knobs. And I guess, like, I set something down and I must have, like, rolled the knob to the left when I set it down. And that killed my volume. So, yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, a little bit of ASMR. A little bit. Just a smidge. Poquito más way. I don't know, like... I just feel like chit-chatting right now, which is weird. Anyway. To what Triple G said, a lot of people like to just waste time and flap their gums. It's pretty wild. Like, I think the biggest comment made is like that. I think they use like nicer words than this, but that basically like I'm cockriding Shorty, which is just weird, right? Like things to the effect of like, I sure did, Nacho. You know, like people will say stuff like imagine like listening to what another man's saying or whatever, and it's like, dude, like where do you learn from? Because like when somebody that knows more than me, man or a woman, starts talking, I'm going to listen and try to pick up as much information and learn as much as I can as quickly as I can. Because the only other way to really learn, other than like, you know, reading a book written by another man or another woman, or listening to another man or another woman teaching you, would be through trial and error. And that's just not a fun way to learn. It's actually really painful. Like you end up making a bunch of mistakes and like just not a good fun way to learn. And especially like if we're talking about trading, so then you're just blowing a ton of money like trying to learn and get better. Why would I not listen anytime anybody is talking, right? So, and when I say anybody, it's like, obviously, out of the people that I know, Shorty is the GOAT. So if Shorty's talking, I'm listening. I'm going to try to pick up as much information as I can, right? If anybody, any Discord, it's not bothering me. I'm just kind of sharing my thought process. If anybody in any Discord shares some kind of piece of education, I'm going to read it. I might not agree with what they're saying, and I might not learn anything from what they said, but there's a potential for anybody, no matter where they're at in their trading journey, to teach me something. Like they might know something that I don't know. I don't know everything, like not even remotely close. I don't pretend to think I know everything, and I'm always open to learning. And even like even like in my YouTube comments, I'll have people kind of come at me weird. Like, I think the most recent one was where they told me my TPO settings or my TPO levels are wrong because on a different charting platform, they have different TPO levels. And all that tells me is they don't really understand how charting works because if you look at any charting platform, so you compare TradingView with TOS or compare TradingView TOS and I forgot the other one I was going to mention, but whatever. You compare different charting platforms. All of them calculate things differently. And so no matter which one you use, you're going to find different levels, right? And to have the arrogance to say that one is better than the other is just wild because I've used a lot of them, and sometimes, let's just say, for example, my TPO settings or my TPO levels on Thinkorswim will hit to the penny, and in that same instance, like my volume profile settings in TradingView won't hit to a penny. But then the very next day, my volume profile settings or levels in TradingView will hit to a penny, and the ones in Thinkorswim won't. And so, like, to say one's better than the other is just wild, and just kind of tells me that you don't really understand what you're talking about. They're just calculated differently, which doesn't necessarily mean one is right, one is wrong. It just means you trade off of the levels that you have based on whatever charting platform you use. And, like, you just hope that your levels are good that day because it's going to be what it's going to be. But yeah, all of that stuff, I never let those people get under my skin. If it got under my skin, you would know pretty quickly because when things really bother me, my reaction is pretty volatile. Like I don't, and you never want to see that side of me. You never want to be on the receiving end of that side of me because, yeah, no, it's just not good. Yeah. I'm still firm on 480 is the low for tomorrow. And we're not going over 613 tomorrow. Like that's it. My video's done. We won't go below 480 tomorrow, and we're not going over 613 tomorrow. And so that's it. All right, guys, let's get serious in here. Let's start looking. We just did like a quick overview recap of SPY. Let's go ahead and look at the option setups that I see for tomorrow. I was just thinking about this when I was downstairs right now. It's been kind of like a rough month or a rough few weeks of trading, with all of the volatility with news. And I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope everybody's levels are holding up and whatever else. Yeah, and I hope everybody, that people aren't struggling too hard with trading. The last couple of days have been a little rough for me. Nothing that I can't get past, nothing that's, like I'm not blowing accounts or anything, but just a couple of days of like rough trading. I was a little bit upset with myself, and, I'm always like happy to use myself as an example, whether it be to show like a trade that worked or whether it be to show a trade that didn't work out, whether it be to talk about psychology or whatever else. And today I did something stupid. Like I told everybody in Shorty's Discord, hey, I'm not going to be on today. My wife has a doctor's appointment, whatever. And then, as most of you already know, it was a very stressful appointment, and I wasn't in a good place mentally. Like I didn't get very much sleep last night, like probably 4 hours of sleep. Had to get up early, drive, through rush hour traffic, take my wife to the doctor's appointment. Got good news, which is great, but it's still, like your mental whatever your psychology, whatever is going on with you, doesn't switch from like nervous and negative to, oh, okay, everything's great, like, on the flip of a switch. And so still just kind of like not having a great day today. And I'm not trying to like seek out sympathy or anything, but this is more just talking about trading. Where I got stupid is I came home and immediately went upstairs to my computer, sat down. I didn't see any kind of a setup, other than like, some things that I usually use for Confluence to enter into trades were like firing. And I took trades just based off of that. And I lost $1,000 today in 2 trades that I shouldn't have taken. Like just, it is what it is. And again, like, happy to share that with you guys. If it helps somebody out, great. When you're not feeling it mentally, don't force it. And I'm disappointed in myself in the sense that I know better. I couldn't even count how many days I've skipped trading because I'm not feeling it mentally. I don't know why today I tried to force it, but I did, which was pretty stupid. Evangelos, I live in Upland, California. Yeah, I don't know. So like, there's people, not a lot of people, but there's a few people I've met through trading. I'm not going to name this person just because generally when I talk about stuff, I'll ask for people's permission. Like if somebody DMs me and I want to share it like on YouTube, I'll be like, hey, are you cool with me showing everybody this? Because I think it's information that might benefit people and help them out. And so this person, I haven't asked them for their permission to talk about this, but one of the people in Keenan's, and if they want to, say who they are, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to out them if they don't want people to know or whatever. But one of the people in Keenan's, their son is struggling with like being bullied or whatever. And so they were asking me like, what do you recommend? Because they know like my son trains MMA. And they were asking me like, oh, what do you recommend? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, where do you live? And they told me, and I was like, oh, shoot, like there's a really good jiu-jitsu gym very close to you. And I know the owner personally, great guy. Take your son there. I said, because he's like a smaller stature boy. And so like, kids that are bigger than him are like picking on him. And I was like, jiu-jitsu is perfect for kids that are smaller because with jiu-jitsu, your size doesn't really matter to a degree, right? Unless there's a huge size difference. But, like a foot taller is really not a big deal. My son, my 10-year-old's choked out a 14-year-old that was like, well, when my son did it, he was 9, and he choked out a 14-year-old that was probably a good 2 feet taller than him. Oh, nice, Lisa. And so I didn't even realize you live that close, or were you just there for a contract and you don't live that close? But anyway, this person, they took their son to that gym, and her son wouldn't even like go on the mat. And he was like, Mom, like they're choking each other. They're, like he literally looked at it as they were bullying each other, like in a controlled environment kind of thing. And so like, he just was not down. And so we talked about it, and I was like, you know what, why don't you bring him over to my house? My son started jiu-jitsu like right around the same age that he is. And they can hang out for a little bit, become friends, play, whatever, have a good time. And then after they've developed like a little bit of a friendship, then my son can start talking to him about his experience with starting jiu-jitsu and how it helped him with his confidence and like people bullying him and whatnot. And so, and then I was like, I'll talk to the owner of that gym. His name's Mike. And ask him if it's cool if I bring Henrik in so that my son Henrik can roll with her son. And that way he's with somebody that he's comfortable with and that he's familiar with and he's friends with. And so, anyway, they came over. Everything worked out perfect. They met, had fun, played, and then they talked about jiu-jitsu. My son showed him a few things. My son also gave him a gi. That way he had a gi for his first day or his first class, whatever. They show up to the class. My son, like the owner, Mike, was like, yeah, dude, that would be awesome. If your son can help him get on the mat and get started, that would be amazing. And he was like, and you never have to ask, Henrik's always welcome here, whatever. And so we show up, they show up, right away. Him and my son are rolling together. Everything's going really good. And then halfway through the class, that boy decided that he wanted to try rolling with other kids. And so then he started rolling with other kids. And then, whatever thing ended, we went home. And now they go to jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. Her son's having a blast. And he'll even make like little comments like, oh, you should hold your grips like this. My friend Henrik taught me that, or whatever. And I told her, like, if you ever want, if you ever want to bring him by and drop in like to the gym where my son trains, he's always welcome. If he ever wants, to come hang out at my house, he's always welcome. And also, if you ever want us to come back by, the gym so him and Henrik can roll together, just let me know and I'll be happy to do it. So I've met a few people, from, like trading and from different Discords, and I'm always open, and I'm not, like a lot of my information's out there. So J-Rocks, just like I said, I'm not going to say who it was. But, yeah, so I don't know, like I share videos, and on those videos, like, it's pretty easy to see like where my son trains. Like, I'm not a difficult person to find if you were trying to find me. Yeah, just make sure you come with good intentions. That's all I would say. With that said, let's start looking at option setups. So, Amazon. Oh, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I had said yesterday, or no, not yesterday, the day before, that they were looking to break 7862 on DocuSign. That happened. I know, what did I say on Apple? Pretty sure I said they were going, I don't even remember. Where did I say they're going? I don't remember where I said they were going. This was, it must have been that they were coming here, something like that. I wish I remembered because I don't right now. But anyway, doing stuffs. Mark, that's kind of normal. As you do it more and more, things will just pop out to you better and better and better. Yeah. So, I don't want these levels. Dung, 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 and dung. Oh, and I just noticed we have earnings coming up. Okay, well, we're good. This is going to be a day trade on Amazon. Over 181.67. Grab calls. I hate doing levels where it's like less than $1, but I have to, I can't ignore levels that I'm seeing. And I also don't want to not share a trade because levels are closer than $1 apart. So it is what it is. First trim, 182.61. Second trim, 183.40. Third trim, 184.43. Close at 186.56. Okay. Um, I should probably just say, like, if you're not trying to be selfish, which is probably the best thing to do, this would be a much safer level to close. I would just say 186. People that are doing the mentorship group will understand why I'm saying that, but we have a strong high here. And more likely than not, we don't revisit that. If we do, a great level to switch to puts. Like if we tap this, very, very strong chance that they do this, right? So I'll just put safer close. And like I said, this is going to be a day trade. Man, I hate it when they won't let me like get the level perfectly. Okay. So there's Amazon. Oh, Oliver, why, bro? Next, we have FSLR. Calls over 132.60. First trim 133.57. Second trim 134.64, and then close at 135.82. Man, I'm bummed to hear that, Oliver. Hopefully you didn't get cooked too hard. Do I look? Did you journal if you got cooked? Did you journal them, though? Today, yeah, the 23rd. Okay. Yeah, no, you're good. You're funny, man. So, for people that don't know, Oliver is my mentee, right? We've been working together since like November. And this is his version of getting cooked. He's 3 days trading this account. '21st, 22nd, 23rd. I mean, yeah, you lost $600 today. But we're up 1,300 in 3 days. I think most people would be pretty stoked with this. I mean, I can see like it's definitely not a day that you want, but because you're trading properly, your win-loss ratio is good. Like, the only thing that's kind of sucking right now is your loss rate. But because he's using proper risk management and, you know, like more than doubling his risk on every trade, even with, I think, more losing trades, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 4 losing trades, 3 winning trades, and he's up $1,325. That's a win. That's a win, bro. Keep doing exactly what you're doing, and you'll be richer than rich. Okay. Doing good. I'm happy to see it. I was scared when you said you got cooked, but oh, it makes sense, Lisa. By the way, I apologize. I read your message. I just forgot to like acknowledge that I read your message. Yeah. And no, Oliver, like you're doing good. I'm glad to see your progress. Everything looks really good. Would you guys be stoked off of $1,300 in 3 days? I think most people would. All right, let's start with session volume profile here on SPY on 30 minutes. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. The news, like recently, and again, I know I kind of touched on this earlier, but it's just making trading right now like just not fun. At least not for me. Like maybe some people are enjoying it. I just want to play my levels without like random massive spikes here and there, up and down, messing with my levels. So this is a poor high. I'm still tripping out on this girl on OfferUp. Oh wait, she sent me another message. Let me read this really quick. All right. Looks like she changed her attitude. I think you guys all know, like, I'm a pretty giving person, like, all in all. And I think most people would agree that I have a pretty big heart. So I was, like, selling something, like, pretty stupid. It's, like, a $15 item on OfferUp. And this lady told me, like, that she was going to get it for her son. And she's like, oh, I'm going to pick him up for school and then I'll be there. I live in a gated community. And so when you come through, like I get an alert a lot of different ways. Like when somebody is coming to my house and they go through the gate. Well, she like bypassed using the gate and followed another car in. And so I didn't get alerted that she was here. And I didn't, I don't stay staring at my phone. I was busy working, looking at charts and stuff. And so I guess she was sitting outside my house for like 15 minutes, messaging me through OfferUp. And I'm just like not really paying attention to it. And at this point, I'd already decided, since it was for her son and it's like a $15 item, I was like, I'm just going to give it to her, maybe make somebody's day a little bit better, and not really, it's not going to change my life at all. But maybe it makes their life a little bit better. Maybe it makes his life a little bit better. Just whatever, spread some love, spread some positivity. And then, I don't blame her, but I don't get why people don't knock on doors anymore. Like, I'm here, I'm waiting for you. Yeah. And so she texted me like, she sent me a few messages like, I'm here, I'm outside, I think it's the right house, whatever. And I didn't reply because I'm not looking at my phone. I'm waiting to get a message that she came through the gate. And then finally she writes like, I've got errands to run, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like just left, I guess. And I was like, oh shit. And so I wrote her back and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry that I missed you. Like I was expecting a notification that you came through the gate, but you must have followed another car in. And so I didn't get it, And I was like, that's a huge bummer because I was just going to give you the item and I wasn't even going to sell it to you. And she left me on red for like, I don't know, a good 45 minutes. And then she wrote back and she was like, oh, I'll be back through that way like 6:30 tonight. Is it cool if I come by then? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Obviously, she changed her attitude when I told her I was going to give it to her for free. It's funny. But yeah, people are weird. Like, dude, so if I'm being honest, right? Like, I don't want anybody to date my son, my daughter, because like, sorry, nobody's going to be good enough. Oh wait, this is a tiny little spike, right? I'm tripping out here. Like, I don't care how amazing your son is. He's just not ever going to be good enough. At least in my eyes. But if one of you don't teach your son to knock on my door, like, they ain't taking my daughter anywhere. Like, not fucking happening. Not happening. If you don't plan on knocking on my door and you're showing up to pick up my daughter to take her somewhere, and you're texting her from the car, yeah, I'll send you on your way. I don't care how mad she gets or upset, but no, I ain't playing. Hell no. You better get up off your ass, come in, show some respect, shake my hand, be polite, and be prepared to have like guns everywhere when you walk in my house to let you know what might happen if you do anything to my daughter. So yeah. All right. Let's see. So you guys know how the spikes work. This one is tight, right? So this is probably the smallest spike I've ever seen. If we open above, and right now it looks like they want to open above, but we're going to have to see what happens. I don't want to make any bold predictions like right this second, but I don't know that we're necessarily opening above. You know, like, I don't really want to say anything until I've really looked at all of the charts, looked at all of the information. But I'm definitely feeling bearish. For sure, William. I don't know, man. Everybody, all those dads out there, make sure if you're sending your son over to my house, make sure you got that boy on point, because, yeah. But I will say, if I send my son to your house, you don't have to worry about your daughter, because my son will treat her like exactly how a woman should be treated, and he won't let anybody disrespect her. He will snatch them up himself and beat their ass. So, alrighty. Let's take a look at ES really quick. So we're basically back to the open, yeah. ES, we opened right here. We had a tiny little gap down, and then they immediately filled that gap and then sold off a good 20 points. And now we're almost back to, well, we're literally pretty much right back to the open, right? They might be using it as an SR flip to go higher. So if we actually extend this out, I don't know how far we need to extend it out, but let's see, something like, wow, yeah, it just keeps going. I would say to the person, I don't remember who it was, but the person that says that I see things they don't see, start doing this, right? Like, keep going left until going left doesn't make sense anymore. And I'll kind of try to highlight what I'm seeing. So like here, this was resistance, right? And then we broke above, and right after we broke above, it became support, right? And then here for a hot second, it acted as support. And then we went back below. It didn't act as resistance really when we were below it, but then we came back above. It acted as support right there, acted as support right here. And then 2 candles in a row here, it acted as resistance again, right? So this is like turning into an SR flip. Here, resistance, sorry. Broke above, kind of acted as support right there. And then we come over to here. Here it just chopped through up and down. It was resistance for a hot second there. Broke back above, became support. Broke back above, became support again. Acted as support again here. Acted as resistance. Acted as resistance. Acted as resistance again. I know I'm drawing a lot, but I'm really just trying to highlight what I'm really showing. This is probably a great short right now. Because, again, this is basically our... and then I guess I should say right here, it also acted as resistance again, right? So this is our opening drive. Basically, we have a pretty solid SR flip, like right where we opened. We came back to that. Peaked above it, failed. Peaked above it, failed again. Peaked above it, failed again. The only thing that I don't like about this is that we keep peaking above and failing. But at least on 5 minutes, we're doing this. It's like one of my favorite setups. Who knows what this is as I'm drawing it? Anybody? When you have these, this is a diamond top, and then generally we go boink. If this was at the bottom, then it would rocket up, or generally that's what happens. It's never 100%, right? So we have a little tiny diamond top here right now at a key SR flip on ES. Of course, there's always a chance it doesn't work out. The buyers are looking super aggressive, but could work. Could also fail. They're trying to look aggressive. All right, let me erase all these lines. Just always look left. Okay. So, again, pretty key level. I'm going to delete this. But basically, right now, futures are flat. Like, we're not doing much of anything. Let's zoom out on SPY. Look at the big picture. Look at our daily candle. I actually expected this to be a green candle, and it's not. Alrighty. I think we're basically set up to do exactly the opposite of this. So this is a very key level, the 539.78. Obviously, the 2024 POC was a very key level. And, like if you look from like the big picture perspective, here we technically would have been like a peak above and then fail, right? When we form this candle here, well, that's wild. There we go. Let me bring this forward. Basically lost the 539.78 level, and then we had like a pretty big sell-off, right? We talked about this on Monday after the close. Big old selling tail, or buying tail, I'm sorry, on a red day on decreasing volume over the past 3 days, where we basically peaked below the 2024 POC and then regained it. And then we had two like big buying days, right? Or days that we pushed up higher. The only thing missing on this candle is we have increasing volume day over day. But we have a big selling tail at the top. We close below the 539.78 level, which to me is bearish. And I would not be terribly surprised to see them push this back down. Even potentially push it back down to the 2024 POC. God, I can't. It's like snapping so weird. So weird. Why are you weird, bro? Does that make sense to everybody? So Ratana, yeah, diamond top. Dramon, correct, diamond top. So with this said, again, I don't want you guys to go into tomorrow with, like a certain bias, but just looking at the big picture, things are looking bearish, right? But that doesn't mean that we're not going to play both sides. Um, there isn't too many days where I'm not, both bullish and bearish in a single day. And, I'm never trying to go into the day with a type of sentiment, right? Right now, we're above the previous day POC. I don't love anything. I think, um, and when I draw this, it's always kind of funky, but this would be ideal, or basically the same thing would be ideal. Where if we open above it and fail below, retest, great for puts. If we open below it, retest it, great for puts. Um, so in both of these scenarios here, I would be looking for puts. Okay. It's probably the best way that I can explain that. Hang on one second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Um, so this is going to require you guys like paying attention, I guess. Um, and I don't mean that to be insulting. Sorry, but if we're looking weak as we're approaching this, don't be trying to grab calls. If it looks like they're, like strong, whatever, volumes decreasing as we're approaching previous day value area low or the spike base, you can consider calls here. I guess I just feel kind of funky doing this. Like the levels are so close. Generally I'm like puts up here, calls down here, and they're not anywhere near each other. But this is going to be, I think this is going to be really key tomorrow. But also it's going to depend on where we open. We're just a couple of points away from here, so this is definitely doable. By morning. And then the rest, I just kind of feel funky. Yeah, I'm going to go off the cuff here. I like this. I'll just say this: these are the levels that really intrigue me, but really, everybody here or most people here have been following me long enough that you don't need like puts here, calls there, whatever, blah 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 blah. If you see a setup, if we break above the July value low, get a retest, start playing your levels, right? This would be calls. Um, and basically, just what I'm saying is like everybody here. Again, I shouldn't say everybody. There's always new people, but a majority of the people that are here have been following long enough that like what to look for on setups. So if you see like a nice setup, don't be like, oh no, Rockets was saying puts here. If we break above the July POC, or I mean the July value area low and retest, grab your calls. Same thing we did here. I guess I'll just mark it just in case. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Can't draw SIGs. I'm going to post this really quick in Keenan's. I'll look through the chat. Just make sure I didn't miss any questions. And also just give you guys to ask questions in case you do have any. Sorry, 1 second. Somebody tagged me in Keenan's, and I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not overlooking a question. Okay. Let me start up at the beginning. What's up, GG? What's up, Triple G? What's up, Jack? What's up, Anatole? What's up, Alan? What's up, Rudy? I already said hi to Lisa, but hi again, Lisa. What's up, Nacho? What's up, Corey? What's up, Runts? What's up, Banner? What's up, Christopher? What's up, Rathana? Big P? What's up, Mark? What's up, William? I think I've said hi to everybody. What's up, Anthony? Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Oh, what's up, Timothy? So I'm probably going to butcher this name. And I hope I don't. Sequoia Delin. Hopefully I said that right. If I don't, nothing personal. Just never seen that name before. It's a cool name though. What's up, Evangelos? What's up, Alan? What's up, Dude Trades? What's up, Scary Hours? What's up, J-Rock? I think I already said hi, but just in case, what's up, Roberto? What's up, Connor? You're 20. You were raised to respect the parents of the girl I'm planning on taking out. At the end of the day, the father of the girl is giving me the responsibility of her safety. Well said, brother. Well said. Where do I look for spreads? Come on, Jack. You know the answer to that. My coffee recipe, dude, the recipe to good coffee is having good coffee beans. And then you use a French press. Dude, my nose looks so crazy. Feeling like Rudolph. Brandon, your question super vague. So I'll cover it really quickly, but your question is very vague. You're funny, Droppa. I'm chilling, bro. What's up, Asuri? I'm saying hi to my peeps. Did all right. Okay, so Brandon is asking, or first of all, sorry, hello, Brandon. Do I usually use the 30-minute time frame to find your levels to trade off of? And when I'm saying this, like I'm not trying to put you down. You're asking a very complex question with what's the word? Like you're asking a very complex question with very vague wording. Okay, so when you're looking at session volume profile, you're going to be on value area volume 68, row size 100, under style, value area high, value area low, POC. This gives you your previous day levels on 30 minutes. From here, we don't just trade off of our previous day levels. We then switch to 65 minutes. This you would be doing once a week. You use the indicator called PVP or periodic volume profile. Same thing, check these three under inputs, value area volume 68, row size 100. You're going to switch the period to 1 week. And this will give you your previous week low, high, POC. And then we chart these or we draw levels at these, or lines at these levels, because when you switch to a different time frame, those levels will actually move. So you need to plot them and draw the lines. Otherwise, when you switch time frames, these will move. From here, we go to a 4-hour chart. And you should be able to see right here, like my value area low on the weekly shifted up because I'm on the wrong time frame. for previous week. From here on my PvP indicator, I go to settings and I change this to 1 month. And this will give me my monthly levels. So you're looking for your previous month levels. And so to kind of break it down, once a day, like basically once you have something charted, once a day you need to look at your session volume profile on 30 minutes, and you need to move your daily levels forward to the new day. Once a week after, sorry, what's it called? Why can't I English right now? Once a week, like on Friday after the market closes, you need to draw your weekly levels. And then once a month, you're going to draw your monthly levels. And then once a year, you'll draw yearly levels, which you do by going to 1 day chart. And on your PvP indicator, you change this to 12 months. And that will give you your yearly levels. So like right now, we're charting the, 2024 value high, value low POC. Okay. And then once you have all of that, like the time frame you trade off of is kind of irrelevant, because you have your levels drawn, and they won't move based on what time frame you're on. They're going to stay the same. I guess the best way I can explain that is like 550 is always 550. It doesn't matter if you're on a 1 hour chart or a 2 second chart. It's still going to be 550. All right. Jack, as long as I don't have anything going on, I don't really care. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully it makes sense as well. We also have classes on it, but do you happen to be, Brandon, are you TR Jedi in Keenan's? Because if you are, then I don't have to answer you in Keenan's, because that'll be harder to explain through text. Definitely feeling better, brother. Dude, sorry, can you trade NQ for me too? I need like a nice win. Nice easy win that I don't have to think about. Bummer, Brandon. Then I guess I'll just refer him to this video. Can anybody tell me like roughly the timestamp when I started talking about how to find the levels? Just roughly. How do you join? I mean, that's just somebody else's completely different Patreon or Discord, but you go through Patreon. I can point you that way. That's Keenan's. Thank you, Anatole. Let me just give this guy the information. You eat it.
I have one more item.
I know, but I know you really like that one, so you eat it.
Want it?
No, it's okay.
I don't mind.
Huh?
I said I don't mind.
No, you eat it, brother.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had
I don't know why I just called my kid brother. That was really awkward and weird. I meant to say buddy. Okay. All right. Hey, what's up, Anthony? You're short. Where was... I don't... Oh, I was saying short here. They wanted it a lot higher, huh? Wild. Nice. What's that MACD crap at the bottom of your chart, Asuri? And what the hell kind of a VWAP is that? Mean. This is a series chart. What's this? Whatever, whatever, whatever. Hmm? Brandon, no, sorry. Somebody in Keenan's asked me the exact same question you asked me on YouTube. So I thought possibly you guys are the same person. And if you were the same person, then I wasn't going to reply to you also in Keenan's. But since you told me that you're not, I've already replied to you and them. All right, Mark. Yeah, I'm done. I'm just BSing right now. This is a nice chart, though. Dude, your VWAP is crazy. Because it's not a VWAP. All right, everybody. Gonna call it a day here. Still kind of chopping sideways. Oh, really quickly, I just want to look at news for tomorrow. Hour before the open, unemployment claims, core durable goods. 7 a.m. existing home sales, so that's going to affect the market. And then after close, retail sales month over month. So not too much. During trading hours, our biggest thing is going to be this existing sales. All right. So with that said, as always, huge thanks to everybody that chats and communicates. You always make things more interesting and give me something to talk about. Huge thanks to the subscribers of the stream. Extra big thanks to the friends of the stream. And if you're new here, basically 5 days a week, like Sunday through Thursday, we go over SPY, look at what we're seeing for the next day, and then sorry, I just lost my train of thought because Jack's like, you forgot Trump X comments. Yeah, nobody can prepare for those. If we're not trading due to news, and part of that news is Trump speaking on X, then we would never trade. What else was I going to say? Anyway, so if you're new, 5 days a week we cover SPY. sometimes we have option trades to share like we did today. And then a few times a week, we also go over futures and what we're looking at, what we're seeing on futures. And then generally like once or twice a month, we do actual classes on trading, and we'll teach people how to hopefully become better traders. And the education, a lot of it that's done here on the channel is done by an actual market maker, which is just an amazing resource to have access to. With that said, if you're new and you enjoy the content, I would love a subscribe. If you didn't enjoy the content, I hope you find what you're looking for, and that's genuine from the heart. With that said, as always, much love, much respect to everybody. We will see you tomorrow afternoon. Hope everybody has a good day today, tomorrow.